Who does Nick Tilleli call a cunt? Find out next.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from tbriz Studios, it's the Adult Baby Show.
TikTok, you don't stop. Here you go.
I love these. I can't stop playing these stupid fucking. Yeah. All right.
We got a big audience tonight.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's the Adult Baby Show. My name is tbriz.
How you doing? I'm B.
And I am Chic.
You guys are just so fucking slow on that still. 8 weeks and
a lot of chemistry on this fucking show.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because I don't know. I feel like Chick should go next.
Well,
it's B, Chick, and tbriz.
Okay.
So
but I'm going first, so doesn't that screw up the whole thing?
It does.
Yeah.
Can I say something too? You guys did a good job of like making the sound, everything creepy as fuck. Like, just the avatars, who you are as people, everything is just.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit.
we gotta introduce this guy.
By the way, we have our first guest in the studio, Nick Tilleli, comedian, really funny guy. Is there anything else?
I mean, you know, not really.
Right. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see he's the guy right above the creepy avatar of B.
Yeah.
In the webcam.
Yeah.
It looks like B's
my
character's
cartoon
almost jerking him off in the chair right now. He's got his fucking arm right above his crotch there.
You know what's making me uncomfortable is that like we're almost the same height. That's
You know what? Look at this, guys. Look at this. If you're watching on YouTube, yeah, B.
This is just getting
Oh,
crazy.
baby, what's up? Look at that.
You can move that.
Beard,
I don't like this at all.
Dude, all sorts of weird creepy
Yeah, get
shit.
the Wang Baby song and jerk me off. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the show, Nick.
Anyway,
Thank you
Thanks for
coming
having
on
me.
down,
Seriously.
man.
Seriously,
Well,
thank you.
We are the Adult Babies podcast. So you can find us at adultbabyshow.com. We can, get on there, Instagram, our YouTube, and all that bullshit.
Yep. Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. We're on the whole shebang.
All the things.
Nick is our first guest. Episode 8, we haven't had a guest yet. Nick is our first guy, and there was sort of an issue like last week's podcast, episode 7. We record them back to back, so at the end of 7, we kind of left him hanging outside.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that you left me hanging. It's who you left me hanging with.
What happened out there?
Well, I didn't know. Like here, I gotta preface this better. When I saw the show on like wherever you guys post it, I see this. I'm like, wow, they got a setup. And then he tells me where it is. I'm like, oh, it's in a basement. I'm like, at first I thought these guys were professionals. I'm like, nah, they're just lonely.
You nailed that one.
So I'm like, okay. So I pull in. I'm like, okay, it's all right. It's right around the corner from the mall. I don't know if I want to say this. But like, who's gonna hunt you down?
Yeah. I don't have a stalker yet.
Yeah.
We all know the famous burger place that's near.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
All American.
And I do get here a little earlier than I should, and I'm already just sitting in my car, just kind of like scoping out the neighborhood.
You look like a creep.
I do, and I just got a haircut that's Aryan-esque. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I go text him. I'm like, hey man, I'm here, and he goes, okay, 5 more minutes. I'm like, whatever. So it's nice out, so I decided to walk outside and just walk to the house because I'm a little further away down the block, and then all of a sudden, I see like 8 kids just in front of the. I'm like, are they the babies? Like, is this right? And I'm
That's
just
the crowd that we do it for.
yeah. I'm like, are those their voices before in the intro?
It was actually babies and live babies in the basement.
It's just like you poke them, like just make the noise.
Welcome to the Adult Baby Show.
you stick them with pins and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm standing outside, and then like the father's just looking at me, and I'm not a guy that should be standing out front. I don't know if that's obvious or not. And I'm just standing there, and he's like, "Who you look?" I'm like, "I'm looking for Brandon." Is my friend here?
Jesus.
It was uncomfortable, and then he just comes around the corner.
Yeah, and then at the same time we're finishing up the last episode, and I'm getting text from Nick, and I'm like, I gotta go, because I didn't know what the hell was going on. You're like, there's kids out here. I'm like, I gotta run. So I
it sounded
abruptly
like we had
left.
an emergency outside.
I left this episode 7, and we'll find out how that ended. Because I don't know what we did.
I tried telling you, I'm like, I'm not allowed within 50 feet of a child.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta go. He really can't be around kids.
We're gonna have a bigger problem on our hands.
Yeah, really. But no, but thanks for having me. I
Yeah,
guess
at least
that's
you
all.
made it in.
Happy
You
to-
made it
happy to have
inside, and we are glad to be here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a good setup. I
So
like
do we-
it.
And it's good, and he's right. We are lonely. This is actually the most human interaction we get all week. We wait all week. We wait all week just to get together and hang out and feel like we actually have friends. I love you guys.
I'm just happy I get to share a square with somebody. So how was everybody's week?
good. Yeah, let's do it. We talk about what's going on this week. B, you said you had a story you were telling us
Not a
earlier.
good one.
Some
We didn't-
I feel like
think
I'm
it
getting
was.
a reputation like
Yeah,
I
we
have to
didn't-
have a story, but I had a few drinks with some pilots, with a pilot,
airplane pilot.
airplane pilot.
Nice. How'd that go? Were you like the little child that got brought up to meet the kid, to meet
was
the
weird.
pilot?
So last week's
Did
episode,
you get to put on the hat?
Did you sit on his lap?
What were you saying about last week's episode?
last week's episode, you were having lunch with a gay dude showing you dick pics.
That's right.
This week, it's dinner with a pilot. What is it?
Well, I was sitting
Drink with a
down.
pilot?
I was sitting down
You
and
meet a lot of people.
Yeah. I get myself into situations.
Did he show you dick pics too?
no.
I call this one the Concorde.
So I sit down and the guy, he comes to me. He's like, hey, what do you think? I'm a pilot. Right away he tells me he's a pilot. I'm like, I don't
We're
care.
very proud of that. being a
Yes,
pilot.
exactly.
And he goes, I have my student with me here. He's getting a little drunk. Should I
Let him
cut
fly?
him off? Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. What do you? So he starts talking to me, and he gets into the whole. Yeah, I'm a pilot. This is my student. Now I'm in a conversation with these two drunk pilots, and
But one of them's an
Yeah,
aspiring
but aren't you a drunk
pilot.
painter? Like, what's the difference?
yeah, that's true. So
If anything, it's an upgrade, I thought, right?
you're right.
That's first class, buddy.
So I start talking to these guys, and they're doing their pilot lingo, like you got to grab the yoke. And so the reason why they were there, the yoke is the steering wheel.
That's what they told you.
Yeah. So these guys are hammered, and they're talking about they lied to their wives because it's too windy. So instead of the flying lesson, they were drinking instead. And they have to get back to Jersey. They're from Jersey. Like they came and went to Republic Airport, but they couldn't take off because of the wind. So now they're stuck here drinking, and they're I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh, so they told their wives that they were going to be flying to wherever they were, but they're really just
Yeah.
getting drunk down the block.
They're just getting hammered. Yeah.
That is hysterical.
So is it?
No.
I told you. I'm
It's a
just
great
talking about my
excuse.
week.
As a pilot, you can pretty much give yourself if I'm a family man as a pilot. There's a lot of people out there that want time away from their family. They get tired of the kids and the wife and the whatever, but their best thing is like, oh, I'm gonna go play golf, and they get like 3 hours. As a pilot, you'd be like, yeah, I'm flying to Europe. I'll be back in 3 days, and then fucking go hit Vegas with your
Exactly.
buddies.
Yeah,
Like,
but-
what did your wife know the difference?
Yeah, well, also, I bet his wife's like blowing the garden. She's like, oh, no, he's flying. he's in Denver. Don't worry
He
about it.
doesn't care when he's coming back.
Yeah,
In the friendly
exactly.
skies.
He's fucking slurping and burping in his bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, ew.
But it got weird. Like they got excessively
Of course, it got
drunk.
weird.
And-
You were there.
Yeah. Then the pilot was just kept grabbing his student. I felt a sexual energy.
Sandusky?
I felt this sexual energy.
And they at one point the pilot just knocks over his beer, like not on purpose, but he just knocks it over. Totally ignores that he knocked over, smashed a pint glass in the middle of an empty place, and
I wouldn't care either, though. Can we be honest, though? As a pilot, I'm responsible for everybody getting to where they need to be. I
That's
deserve
true.
to throw fucking glass at.
fuck you. I'm
Do whatever the fuck
Yeah,
I want.
I don't
exactly.
know. So it's just a weird situation I had, and not necessarily a good story. And I
No.
apologize. You know what? The cat's out of the bag. This isn't. I didn't have a whole week to come up with a story. I'm just grabbing. We did the
These
last
bad
episode.
Grasping at
stories.
straws.
That's interesting, though.
I like that story. I loved it actually.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
No, I think it was
Got some
that
stuff
bad.
at it.
Yeah, seriously.
And I do have a picture.
Why?
Of what?
Here's the
You
thing.
and the pilot?
What?
But what's this thing is you're like, yeah, I don't know, these guys are weird, but here's me and him together playing.
But then we took 5 selfies, and I want to show you guys.
No, because what I do now is I take pictures of situations that I might talk about. So I do have a
For the
picture
show.
of
You're
the
doing it
pilot.
for the show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I appreciate that.
So we
Stick it up to the webcam. If you're on
Yeah,
podcast, we'll try to
it's
explain it
just
to
a
you.
black dick.
What is it? Yeah. Oh, wow. You were
Not even a good. All right.
That's an
There
action
we go.
shot. Look
There we
at
go.
that. You and a pilot having a beer,
What are
buddying
they
up.
talking about right there? is what
And you
I
know,
wanna
you
know.
remind me of like that's a thing that happens though when people get drunk. They get real touchy feely, especially
Yeah.
those
Oh,
guys.
God.
You ever notice? Like I
It's
have a
the
friend.
worst.
I have a friend that he's the manliest guy. He suppresses every fucking single emotion except for the "fuck you, pussy" emotion. And but he gets out and he gets drunk with his dad. And by the
Oh,
end of the
I
night,
know
the two
what
of them
you're
are
talking about.
crying. I love you, Dad. And he's got his arm around him, and they're hugging, and he grabs, he's touching, feeling everybody, and it's like, dude, I fucking hate you,
Dude, that's why I had to quit drinking. 'Cause that's how I would do things. And you know,
That's you. You're the grab everybody like while you're drunk. Guy?
no, I'm aggressive. And that's really worse.
You're aggressive sober. I can't imagine.
That's my problem. And so when I drink, like, and it was mostly flirting with women was my biggest issue because when you're sober, it's
strong arming them.
dude. I put her in the arm bars like, you gonna blow me? It's get, and it was worse because I'd go out and around my town, and it's like you don't want to hit on people you know because you're a creep somewhere else. Like, remember that creep at the bar? You don't want to be like, remember Nick Tilleli from Meth?
Yeah.
He got drunk and rubbed my leg with his erection. Like I couldn't be that. I couldn't be that guy anymore, so I had to stop drinking.
Oh, it's so great.
Oh,
It's just too much.
We've all been there. I'm almost.
Yeah, but I stopped.
I know. I stopped. Yeah, but do you remember I stopped for like a month and a half?
I do remember that was the best month and a half. What was the
Yeah.
Farmerdale felt?
Yeah. Well, I lost a lot of business.
So you stopped drinking. Have you been? How long have you been? Are you sober? Like you don't drink?
No, I'm sober now. I'm sober 2-3 weeks. I like how it made it seem like I've been 8 years. 2-3 weeks, maybe.
2-3 weeks. All right, keep us updated. We'll have
Yeah.
you back on the show. Let us know how much.
You know what it is? I just been smoking a lot more weed.
Yeah, there you
is
go.
that
My type of
You know
guy.
what they call that? They call that marijuana maintenance. They call
Wow.
it when you quit.
Is
When
that,
you quit,
is that
yeah,
actually a thing?
yeah, it's a thing.
Can I tell you how I know that?
I'm
though?
sober. I haven't drank in like 18 months. I stopped drinking for real because I had other issues. But
I used to have a
I
wife.
tried that. I did that for a while. I used to have a wife and kids that I don't talk about. They're somewhere.
Pretend they don't exist.
I'm not supposed to talk about it.
So wait, can I ask what made you be like, okay, it's time to change, or is that you don't talk about that?
Oh, I just had issues where my drinking was out of control and I was about to lose another job. Basically, it was interfering with my life. It wasn't even anything funny worth talking about. It was just
No, that
like
sounds hilarious.
alcohol, alcohol, drugs, like crying to myself, curled up in the fetal position in a shower, like. Yeah, that is hilarious.
Dude, that's where I was getting to, and every time I drink, I'd black out, and all I remember is all that stuff, and then you have anxiety throughout the whole week.
Figuring out what happened over the
That's
weekend.
shame over.
Yeah.
That next day, shame over. It's like a hangover of shame. Like I'm hungover and I'm so embarrassed for what I know I did and the stuff I can't remember I did either. And I know throughout the week I'm gonna get texts and phone calls that slowly reveal how much of an asshole I was.
That's the worst part, and I tell people it's not what I forget that I'm worried about. It's exactly what I remember that
Yeah,
I'm worried about. You know what I mean? And that's what it carries over with you. But it's funny because Did you go to AA and stuff like that?
Because I do actually.
I was thinking about doing it, but I was like, do I qualify? I mean, I just kind of creeped out like 5 girls. I'm gonna be up there. It's like I fucking smoked meth and blew a dude, and I'm like, yeah, I'm creepy. Like, I'm lonely. Like I feel like I wasn't belonging because I told my therapist, and she's like, yeah, you're a drunk.
Drunk.
You're drunk.
Well, you'll figure it out. That's the thing. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. And that's all.
There you
That's all
go.
I'll say
That's
about
what
that.
it is.
Yeah, all right.
If you don't want to drink, and
I
you
probably
think
go
you
there
have a
trying to get
problem-
pussy too. So, any girls want to drink? Huh?
Actually, you wouldn't be the only one. There's a lot of that going on. I mean, think about it. A bunch of drunk people like fucking not stop drinking.
Yeah.
Like
Now they
all
gotta
these other
find
vices
something
pop
else.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Marijuana maintenance was the thing that I tried. I stopped drinking a few years ago and decided, you know what I'll do instead? I'll just buy a whole bunch of weed and smoke all the time. And it worked for me for a little while, but it wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't do it. Like I know I have a good. And here's the thing too: is like our job as comics. It's cool to. It's kind of nice to get fucked up and chill out a little bit. And I never really got high and got on stage. Last night was like the first time, and it was 4:20, so I was like, whatever, I'll smoke.
yeah.
And what frightened me a little bit was there was no real difference, and I was like,
Yeah.
that might give me the excuse to be like, I can just get high anytime I want to.
But you never drank before you got on
No,
stage.
I never drink before I get on stage.
I always like a cup. I can't do it like hammered, but
Yeah.
I can have like a couple of beers and go up.
No, I definitely would have to have a couple beers to watch you, but
We all do. Don't worry, you're not the only one.
Set myself up for that.
no, I know what you mean.
It's like the flyers go out. It's like 2 drink minimum. Not B's performing tonight. I have 4 drink minimum.
But I know what you mean by that. But I was always nervous, about getting to that place, and I'm like, oh man, am I only gonna need drinking to get? Because I drank the first time I went on stage. I drank, and I crushed first time, and I was like, and it scared me because I'm like, am I gonna have to get fucked up to do that every time?
Like a crutch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like steroids for athletes. Once you fucking hit that pinnacle of athletic feat because you've been using steroids, how do you top yourself without using steroids going forward? And if that's the thing, like, oh, I get drunk every time I go up and I'm funny. How do you top that? Unless you just don't do from the start. You don't use the steroids.
Yeah. So why I'm here is Brandon, we're here to intervention. We need you to stop everything.
Everything. All right.
I like when Nick's on the show. B, you get your
I
balls
know.
busted a little bit more
I
than
feel
usual.
like I'm in the Chickalo chair.
Yeah, this is a nice change of pace.
Chick must
for
be
me.
loving this. Usually
I'm
Chick's
just
the one
sitting
getting his
back,
balls
nice and relaxed, and letting Nick go at him, making me feel good.
Oh yeah.
Not the only
That's
one.
all right. That's all right.
What other stories we got? Should we talk about Chick's softball stories?
Yeah.
Chick had a couple softball. Wait, who said that? Nick, you got something?
No, I'm curious to hear about softball. you look like a softball guy
Well,
too.
that's part of the story.
Yeah. You look like the guy. You know who Chick looks like? You ever have that kid in elementary school whose like dad made pizzas and was always around? That's who Chick's dad looks. They brought in a Mickey Mouse. That's who you look like. And I'm like, oh, I know this guy.
Oh, that's great.
Oh man.
Look ahead, Chick.
Well, we
Let's hear this disaster.
Yeah, last week's episode, we found out that Chick is the manager for a softball team. You said gay. It's funny.
That's pretty much
came
on
out
par.
last closet.
That's how he said it too. He says, "Guys, I'm a softball player." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I never play hardballs.
I go underhand. You know what I mean?
So, all right. So we're in the championship. Well, no, it was a playoff game, and we play 7 innings in softball. So this is
Talking to your mic a little bit.
I'm sorry. Can I ask one more question? Did you guys didn't know he was managing the softball team this whole time?
And I've been doing this for about. We've
Jesus
been playing
Christ,
for 15 years. I've been
talking
managing
to your
it for
mic. Don't
7
yell
years.
into it.
Yeah. We're
Jesus Christ! I don't know what to do.
We're 4 seconds into his story about softball. Would you want to know anything more about his softball? I'm already bored. Go on.
So top of the 7th. There's only 7 innings, so that's basically the equivalent to the 9th inning. And we are up by, I believe, 1 or 2 runs. And the bases are loaded. I play left field. And
Bragger.
a ball. This is in my heyday, too. And don't worry, this story is not much to brag about. So they hit a pop fly to me.
Is this story just about how you like caught an awesome pop fly or something?
No,
Like,
no,
or are you
no,
gonna?
no.
There's something funny about that.
This is something funny.
All right.
So the ball gets hit to me, and I'm sitting there tracking it down, thinking, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. Catch the ball, game over, we win. Instead, I trip over a sprinkler head, fall back on my head to where I do almost like a stall in the air where my feet are above my head. My shirt's coming down over my head now because I'm falling backwards. Ball gets behind me. 3 runs come in. We're down. We're losing the game now. I basically cost my team because of a sprinkler head. So that was more towards my athleticism that we were talking about last week.
Yeah, last week's episode, I asked Chickalo to rate himself on athleticism to get an idea of his self-image, and he gave himself an 8 out of 10
Wow.
on the athleticism scale. And then he goes and tells this fucking story,
It happens,
which is
John, it
more on
happens.
par with my assessment, which
Everybody
is
makes
a
an
2.
error. Everybody makes an error.
I don't know.
You know, it's
man.
funny. You said in the beginning how like, oh, I thought that I was going to make this heroic save, and none of us thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, there was not one person that
I heard like sprinkler. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That sounds.
This is going right where I thought
exactly.
it was. Yeah, so, We wound up winning the game because one of my
8 out of 10.
One of my
people.
friends
8 out
died.
of 10.
no, one of our friends hit a home run in the bottom of the inning to save my ass. But I thought you guys would get a kick out of me busting my ass.
No, that was enjoyable.
Yeah. Slapstick humor really translates well on a podcast.
Yeah.
And then he fell. It was like Chris Farley going through a table. Picture that, guys.
Oh,
How
God.
funny is that?
This is why I don't tell stories. Next.
You're right. Yeah.
What else? You said you had
Yo,
multiple
who knew
stories.
the pilot was more interesting?
Yeah, I know. I was like, I got a real bad one this week. And now you're talking about tripping over a sprinkler. I don't feel so bad anymore.
Yeah,
There's been a couple lazy moments where there was one ball hit out to the outfield and I used the fence to lean up against it to slowly go down and grab the ball while guys are just circling the bases, running around. I'm taking my sweet ass time getting it in.
He gave himself an 8 out of 10 on the last.
I'm just trying. I'm not going to
You're-
talk about the diving catches I've made and the big time hits I've had. I'm talking about
Big-time
the bad moments.
I got to get you a different mic. You're just
You just need a new
destroying my
person.
ears.
I was gonna say you need a new co-host.
You-
I think that's what it is. I don't think it's the mic. I think it's me.
The mic is fine. The co-host has to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a fantastic story. I
Thanks.
actually loved it. No joke.
Yeah, it was.
Wait. So do you still play softball?
Yes, every week.
Are you one of those guys that takes it seriously? Like,
No, not look. I get high before the games. I barely play myself, and I yell at my team for sucking.
and you gave yourself an 8 out of 10.
Exactly.
Like, I get high. I fucking.
I gave myself an 8 out of 10 for when I was in my prime.
Oh, how long ago was that?
That was a long time ago. Oh God,
That's interesting. Wow. I never got into sports as a kid. It started out because my dad never cared about sports. Like he just liked doing drugs, and I was just like, I was like, I'm into it, Dad. Let's hang.
let's go.
You got any cards? Let's fucking chill.
Yeah.
But and then it became like once I saw people getting, I'm like, I want to be the cool guy that doesn't like sports and stand out a little bit. And now everyone knows sports, and I'm like, yeah, remember Jeter, guys? Huh? That's my last reference. I'm trying to catch up with people. I got nothing to fucking talk about. I'm not a man. That's what happened.
Don't worry, I'm the obnoxious guy that everybody hates when it comes to sports.
Yeah, this is not a sports podcast. We try to shut him down as much as we can.
Yeah,
with sports. It's pretty-
exactly.
What kind of podcast is this?
We don't know yet.
That's
we
a
don't
good
know
question.
yet. We're still trying to figure that out.
No, I do like this is a cool fucking vibe. I was
You like the studio?
I do like the
You like
studio.
Tbriz Studios?
Yeah, I like that I can pour myself a glass of water and sit back down, grab a chiplet or something.
For people who can't see on YouTube or on the podcast, but I don't think we've ever talked about this. We actually record the podcast in my living room / kitchen of an apartment, and it
Yeah.
kind of looks like a half basement. So we're looking at a sink, a stove, my cabinets.
Microwave.
And if that door was open, we'd see the bathroom.
direct light at the toilet.
Yeah. So I mean, if anybody needs to take a shit halfway through the show, go right ahead.
I'm sorry, but does that say Mr. Beery's?
Yeah, it does say Mr. Beery's.
You
I got
know,
a Mr. Beery's poster
he used to play
up in
in a
here.
band, so-
I was in a band.
Oh, because I am really good friends. Well, I used to be really good friends with his son, the guy who owns Mr. Beery's, and for years we'd always go down there and smoke
Beery's.
weed.
That sounds like one of the many drug activities that take place at Mr.
exactly.
Beery's.
I know. Who knew we were being the best kids there?
You guys were setting a good example.
I know. It's true. It's true. That's fucking
Just
hilarious.
weed.
So that's, I guess, what do we think about stories? Should we move on to articles, or we got
Nick,
anything
you
else
got
to talk
anything?
about?
Oh well, you know what?
Is there anything you want to plug, Nick?
I got nothing, guys.
Yeah, while we got Nick on here, Nick's a comedian, right? You got any shows coming up or anything? We can talk about real quick?
I got a few. Tomorrow I'm gonna be. I don't know.
You got a
what
website first?
Oh no! Well, you can go on my Instagram at Nick Tilleli, NickTilleli. I don't post as much as I want to. I kind of just like DM girls when I'm drunk. When I used to be drunk.
That's what I
used
do,
to.
but I use the adult babies account to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Unfortunately, he's
Cross promotion.
I actually had to yell at Chic this week to stop using our adult babies account like his own personal account.
Are you really doing that, dude?
Like he unfollows
I did
and
it
blocks
once.
people he doesn't like.
I did it once, and it was on accident. I thought I was on my account, and I
really?
used the adult babies one to DM somebody.
That's so funny. Like you just see these 3 avatars, and like, hey, nice tits. You busy tonight? Fucking Brandon sitting there.
Just figured I'd bring them down with me.
I think in Chick's head, the podcast is bigger than it is, and he thinks he'll get recognized for being on it.
Groupies.
Check it out.
Yeah, but do you want to get recognized for this? Like, oh, are you the bald guy with glasses? Is that you?
You know what? I'll take any recognition at this point in my life.
That's mad funny.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
You know what? So
You got to put it out there, right? You got to lay your
Exactly.
dick out on the table and see who bites.
And just leave it there for the guy to look at.
see who
For
bites.
the guy to look at.
Remember B's story? The guy left the cup
That's
out for him
last
to
week's
look at it.
episode. It's out of
fuck.
context in week 8.
Jesus
Now you.
Christ.
All right, whatever.
It's a mix-up.
You know, you guys want to tell me this? Want me to tell a story where I called a girl a cunt?
Oh, yes.
There was a story that Nick was telling us before the
Yeah,
show. Is it? I didn't miss it, so you guys, I'm going to be hearing it. For
No,
the first
that
time.
you guys are all going to be hearing it. I think I told Brandon this, but it was Christmas morning. My mom woke me up, and
And you called her a cunt.
Yes,
the end.
exactly.
Oh, that was great.
No,
Mom, you cunt. Where's my present, you cunt?
This is all you got me?
I'm sleeping, you cunt. You wonder why Dad left? He fucking. I see his point now. It was I was doing a mic at now to properly set this up. Me and Brandon do a lot of shit all over New York City, and I happen to be in Astoria, the Creek and the Cave, and they do a lot of shows there. Now on Saturdays they have this show where they where you come up, you do 2.5 minutes, and in between your 2.5 minutes, there's someone drinking on stage, and during their time, they can interrupt you. That's the whole thing. Which, fine, I've done it before. You know, I've had back and forth with it, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I want to work out this set, and I go up there and I start working on my jokes. I'm doing really well in the beginning, and I slipped on something, and I point to her. I was like, what happened, sweetheart? And immediately I felt her go, sweetheart. Who do you don't call me sweetheart? And but she kind of rolled with it, and she said something. And then I went to go speak again, and she interrupted me. And the whole thing was, to me, it was like, oh, she hasn't said anything the whole time. And I'm like, so someone in the audience goes, and I'm like, I know enough out of her, right? Like, just because she hasn't said anything, so it's funny. And so she lost her mind because I think sweetheart stuck it up in it. And then I said, enough out of this one, right?
You got under her skin.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. And so she starts, bop, bop, bop. Now, before the show, the host says, now watch out. Her name was Allison Klemp. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the only time her name's gonna be brought up on anything. So.
Oh, my God. That's great.
So the host says, listen, you gotta be careful about Allison. She'll bite at you. She'll come at you. She's aggressive. She'll do this. She said this whole introduction. So at this point, when I'm just standing there and she just bomb, 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 just aggressive, blah, blah, blah.
I can't wait for this.
So I just go, I didn't believe the host in the beginning, but I got to say you're a bit of a cunt. And, comedically, of course. Like I figured
That's a subtle way to drop it. Too.
yeah,
I love it.
And that's and I knew, and like I know how to fuck around. And the thing was, I'm the first one. I was the first one. I started off the show. The show started with cunt. Well, I was first talking about racist firemen, and I was like, by the way, she's a cunt. And that's how it began. And I thought the whole crowd would be just like, and they went, whoa, there's just a bunch of rumblings and shit like that. This bitch lost her. I wouldn't have called her a cunt if I knew she was gonna be such a cunt about it.
Oh man,
Dude, she went on Facebook. This bitch went on
Oh,
Facebook.
no. There you go. That's where you vent all your problems.
And I didn't know she's a little bit ahead of me. Or I don't know how, but maybe a little. If I say a little bit ahead, I mean she's got 2 more bar shows than I do. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So she goes on Facebook. She goes, the first comic called me a cunt, and I didn't see it till later. And then she starts another thing about, like, you believe he called me. And then she goes, oh, by the way, I got drunk last night. And then she did it at 6 a.m. in the morning. That means that was the first thing this bitch thought about in the morning.
Oh, my God.
She
You
goes-
kept her up all night with the C word.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I know. And
There's nothing better than that.
Part of me is
feeling.
like, I bet I could eat her pussy. If she's you're not worked up about something. But so she wrote, I got so drunk last night, but it didn't stop me from remembering the comic who called me a cunt's name, Nick Tilleli. Which, by the way, Tilleli, perfect spelling. I was impressed by that.
Hey, that's
She
good
nailed it, huh?
publicity, man.
She got
Oh, that's a cunt who can spell.
a cunt with grammar. That's what I appreciate. But she got 50. She got.
There's a country grammar pun in there somewhere.
Yeah, there
I
is.
don't know.
She got 100 likes on that post.
Good for you.
I got 90 friend requests.
Good for you.
That's great.
Good publicity for
You know
everyone.
how many people are happy that somebody called her a cunt?
Well, I didn't realize that because everyone was all bumpy, and next you know, a few comic friends of me is like, "Oh, bro,
Thank God you said
she's
that.
such a cunt." I'm like, "Where were you the day of? I needed a laugh or two. I was sitting up there like a cunt." Like, but yeah, that was my big rise. I haven't gone back there because I know there's some contention about that. It's weird how cliquey comedians get, you know, and I fall victim to that all the time. There's certain people I'm like, I'm not talking to, but they're blacks. That's why. No, you gotta be careful what you say. No, I'm fucking around, but yeah, no, there's weird, like, they fall into these patterns of, like, you got to be careful. And I understand, man, the business is the way the business is. Some people want to be careful of that. I made a choice where it's like, well, if I'm going to be a certain type of guy, I'm going to be all the way.
do it all
the way.
Do it all the way. That's why I'm here.
That's the way people are in general. Like, I don't know if it's just built into our DNA. Like we find the people, we gravitate to the crowds that we gravitate to, and we tend to like stick to that crowd. And then I know the personalities, even like mine, I can't help it. You look at the other clique and your clique, and you say something. It's like the classic nerds versus jocks bullshit. But now it's like, I don't even know.
No, I agree. I just didn't.
It's on a
PC
different level
versus
now.
non-PC.
No, you're right, and I
PC
agree.
versus non-PC. There you go.
I just didn't know that the crowd I'd be attracting is you guys. Like, I was like, oh
Hey,
shit.
Tilleli, I'm a
Believe
big
me,
fan,
we're not. You are second choice for our first guest.
Not even bullshitting. Not even bullshitting.
The other guy had a show. Nick.
It's funny. It's funny. I bet he was like, well, who lives closest? I mean,
Yeah.
we just someone immediately.
Is there another comic in this town that I know? Yeah, there is actually. Oh man, that's great.
No, but it's you know. I wish
Good
it was
for you.
That's good.
Speaking your truth.
I wish my truth. I know people are going up there
You know
really.
what? More girls need to be told that.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
This lady, she sounds like a real role model.
Well, you know what it was? She's a feminist too. Like she was ultra feminist. I didn't know.
worst.
You know.
The C word really fucking gets under people's skin. Some people
She's
love it.
still
Some
thinking
people
about
hate
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was, to me, I was just almost like, yeah, like, come on. I was like shoulder rub. I'm like, you know, you cunt. Like, like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would to my guy friends. But she didn't take it that way. I don't blame her. I guess. What are you gonna do?
That's good.
Yeah, she'll get over it eventually.
Oh,
I hope not.
I don't
Should
think you will.
should we move into articles?
Yeah, let's get into
let's
it. What
see
do we
what we
got?
can do.
I don't know. All this talk about cunts. The first article is a plastic surgery trend for women,
Oh, the nipples.
and they want hard nipples 24/7.
Can I? What's interesting to
No,
me
just,
is just imagine your wife like just being some girl is going like, oh, I'm going to get my nipples done tomorrow, 3 o'clock appointment.
just like the nails, just to the feet. It's like, so what are you doing tomorrow? I'm gonna get my nails. I'm gonna get my feet. I'm gonna get my nipples done. Like, what the fuck? What did you just say there? Your nipple? Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's and like? What are they gonna to make them hard? Are they gonna put like a bead?
That's what I was just going to ask. I didn't read the
Well,
article.
yeah.
Like,
Like, you
how do
remember-
they actually do it?
You know, like how camel crushes, you gotta crush it. That's what nipples are gonna have. Oh my god!
And you know what's funny is it's
I'm menthol. This is interesting.
Oh, that's great. Good
it's starting
flavors.
just as a trend, like people like just like a trend like getting your nails done started as simply getting your nails done, and then there's a group of people that take it to extreme, like those ladies with the really long nails that they're trying to type on the keyboard and they
Yeah.
can't because the nails reach all the way fucking like
Look
2
like
feet
Edward's
across.
fucking scissor hands.
I'm just waiting for those the equivalent of the nipple ladies to come out where they got nipples that are like 1 feet long and they gotta like cut holes in their shirt for their nipples to like hang down and shit. There's always some freaky part.
And then one of them you can press and it lights up and shit.
Fuck it, they're gonna start their own clique. They're gonna be the nipple clique. There'll be all the girls with the weird nipples hanging out with each other.
Tell me that's
fuck
not-
that clique.
Tell me that's not gonna be the next Coachella shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, 100%.
bro, you remember
Probably
at block
already there.
parties, you'd get that stuff and then you click and then it just lights up. Those are gonna be titties now. As
yeah, exactly.
And let's also point out that this is not going to be like the perfect surgery. Not going to like you're going to be.
Oh no, not
yeah.
at all.
There's gonna be a lot of
mangled
botched
nipples.
nip
One
jobs.
left hard nipple, one soft. Like it's gonna be a yeah.
It's going to be funny too
I
because you'll be like,
dated a girl with fake nipples and they botched
What?
it. Yeah. Not
Really?
fake nipples, with fake tits and they botched the nipples.
really?
Yeah, they
What
did.
did like? She's on top of you. Did it like slide off like a pepperoni on a hot pizza? Just smack you in the mouth.
No, they just look
I
like
could go
they
for
just
some
didn't look
pepperoni.
normal. They were it would look so weird. I can't even describe it. It was like turning and like I don't know.
Wait.
It was just turning.
Like no, the nipple itself was just big and it was just weird looking.
Wait. You dated a girl?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's insane.
Did she have a merkin? That's a callback to episode 1.
Americans.
I never dated American before.
Chick, you have a lot of balls. In the last episode, you were talking about how weird your nipples are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
you got weird
What's
nipples.
wrong
I
with
told you,
nipples?
one of them looks like the CBS logo.
Yeah.
That's such an acute thing to notice.
There you know what?
One of them looks like the CBS logo. Was the other one looked like the Nike swoosh? That's a fast looking nipple. Damn. He must be athletic. 8 out of 10. You got the Nike swoosh nipples, kid.
That's really funny.
I'm sponsored by Adidas.
That's hilarious.
Adidas. Why would you pick Adidas? I'm curious.
No, because you said Nike, so I want something
Yeah.
different.
Oh.
That's
Way to suck the energy out of
Great
it.
word.
Chick is the joke killer on this show. He
Yeah,
just
that's
says
what he
things. I love it. We go, why? Why would you say that?
I don't know. I just was thinking it.
I don't like being asked why. Just things come out of my mouth. I have no reason.
Adidas.
Yeah.
All day you dream about sex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you though, what brought on the nipple challenge? Like, what are they? What's
So it was. This is inspired by who else? One of the Kardashians. It's Kylie Jenner is inspired, and I don't think she like set out to inspire this, but apparently, no. Is it her or is it the other one? One of them.
Does it matter?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it
all
does. It's
fucking-
Kendall.
It actually
It does
does.
matter. This is very important, B. This is very, very important
They're
detail.
all the same.
Because
all the
Kendall
Might as
Jenner.
well have been Bruce.
smoking like a,
Actually, yeah, we'll get into that. Well, Kendall Jenner apparently has these nipples that just look hard. She doesn't like to wear bras, and she walks around in these outfits, and people can see her nipples.
Yeah,
and,
she just wants
and women
guys
want to be
staring
like
at
her.
tits.
I guess. It's,
This is that thing where they want the hard nipples so everybody can stare at them, and then when you do, they can yell at you for staring. Why do you stare at my tits?
because you put beads in them, bitch. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah, seriously.
Fucking asshole.
It's true.
Stop putting marbles in your fucking breast.
Yeah, and I'll stop looking at
Yeah,
it.
really.
Well, so what was the question you asked before?
I don't even know.
So the trend started by one of the Kardashians got some hard nips.
Right,
And
it's
now
a
everybody wants hard nipples.
All right,
Is that what's going on?
that's the trend. And I
Rub an
actually,
ice cube under your fucking. You know, chill
do
out.
it the old-fashioned way.
Really? I mean, gonna get surgery? Just get cold. I don't know what to tell you. Women are hilariously insecure, and
That's so true.
they don't understand that the more these, it's just more stuff for me to just pick. Like, I'm not a good looking dude. Like, I'm not the best looking dude. Here, I'm the good looking
I
dude.
was just gonna say,
But like, you know, that's the kind of stuff you could just prey on. Like, I would say to a girl, "Man, your tits are lopsided." And to prove me wrong, she'd show me pictures. She'd show me pictures like, "Oh yeah," and then we'd be making out behind the bar, and I'm like,
You're
"Got
exactly
her."
right.
got it.
got her.
Got him.
Well, it's this thing. It's that these body things that women look at.
Dysmorphia.
They all look at it, and it's a trend. It's a trend. It's a hard nipple trend. But it's not like a clothing trend where you could just buy a new set
Yeah,
of
you
clothes
can't
next
reverse
month.
this.
Is like, all right, the new trend is hard nipples. Let me inject some shit into my tits, and now I'm cool. I'm part of the trend. But women all have their own thing about them. Like, wait around, and your trend will happen. Like, you got
Yeah.
a big butt. Big butt trend is always coming
a good
back.
point.
What do you got? Like a thin rail of a body, real skinny, fucking heroin addicted
point.
looking shit will be back soon enough anyway. Just chill out and wait for you will be the trend one day. Stop trying to be this week's trend, and they go to these extremes. Now, this is it.
That's
That's
true.
something to talk about. I like hearing them do all this.
But that's a
crazy
really
shit.
good point.
You
That
like
stuff
it?
comes around. I didn't even think about that. Stuff comes. Sometimes it's hot and sometimes it's not. But sometimes it all comes around.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
And now the big booty trend was around, and I read some articles about women getting implants in their asses,
yes, implants.
and that shit was going wrong.
And
They
don't
were
they
getting
fall down
poisoned.
to the back of their thighs?
Yeah,
There was
all
like
these
some bad
botched
shit.
surgeries.
I was just gonna say I heard more about botched ass surgeries than I did anything good.
And that's never going to be a trend. A botched plastic surgery is not a trend.
Didn't
so
J-Lo
they're taking
get
a risk.
insurance on her ass?
I think,
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
probably.
That was a story.
Yeah, but that's worth it.
Yeah, it was. That really was.
Who does that? Geico? Who's that? What company holds that?
A Geico ass surgery.
Also, they haven't fixed lips yet. Why are they going to nipple? Stop going to, like, fix one part that works.
Exactly.
Like,
Perfect one.
Yeah, perfect one. Don't go all over the place and be like, all right, let's work on the nipples now, see how that goes. You know, it's so weird. I don't get it. And whose job is it? That's another like, who goes to school to fix tits?
Creeps. Remember
They want to make. That's where the money is. I mean,
is.
these
A lot
they're
of money.
throwing so much
Kids
money.
don't breastfed
money.
too much, you know.
And actually, it's funny you bring up the lips because Kylie Jenner inspired a challenge online.
That's right.
What was the big lips challenge or something like that? Where
Kylie Jenner lip challenge.
the Kylie Jenner lip challenge. These little girls that are young girls, they look up to these fucking idiots. They look up to these Kardashians, and then they try to do shit like this. Like they're looking up to somebody who's getting nipple injections and collagen in the lips, and they're like 12. And these girls now, they would take a shot glass and suck as hard as they could to get their lips to blow up. Did you ever see the pictures of that?
Of course I did.
I actually have seen a couple pictures of that.
I have a picture of it for anybody who's watching on YouTube. Let me see if I can bring
This
it
whole
up.
family.
There's an
Pretty
easier way to
much
do that though.
famous.
Like, just let me just talk back to your dad or your husband. That's the Kylie lip challenge.
This family's famous because one of the sisters had a sex tape, and the father was one of the lawyers for a murderer.
Well, now this family is famous because their stepfather's their stepmother now. You know,
It's always some kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, it is. It's
What does
crazy.
encoding overload mean?
Hold on, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch over to the.
oh wow, you could do that.
yeah.
This is a fancy.
So
Look at that.
if you're watching on
thought you were-
YouTube, you can see like the results of this Kylie
Thought
Jenner
we were a
lip
bunch of
challenge,
amateurs, Nick.
It looks like hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
You know,
and it doesn't
Yeah,
even
it
look
does.
good. It looks.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't even see where this is attractive.
I
These
think
girls
they're
are too young for this kind of stuff.
yeah. No, wow,
All right, let me switch back.
that was interesting though.
Yeah,
That's gross.
But it's funny how quickly, like, I've seen some of those girls too, and they freak out. They're joking when they do it, but that's not something I'd be afraid to get stuck like that.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
you're
that be
just doing something, then you're stuck with these fucking retard-looking lips.
Yeah, you can't even.
you know what they're called? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was it. He just said retard lips.
Well, I was going back to the article about the nipples. Is they're actually calling them designer nipples.
Oh my god.
Designer nipples.
Yeah, fucking Coach nipples and fucking Armani Exchange tits. Like, yeah, it's so dumb.
It's only a matter of time.
Versace nipples.
Yo,
yeah.
Chick, you're ahead on this trend, bro. You've already got branding on your nipples going
Yeah.
on. You
Yeah, I
got
got
CBS and Nike.
bro.
Fuck, these girls are gonna be fucking. You'll be in the magazine soon enough.
Yeah.
Once this
I'll beat
podcast
'em
blows
to it.
up.
I'll beat him to it.
But this is some of the quotes from the women. One of them says, "I like them. Now I don't have to be cold to have hard nipples." All right, good.
What we did? Oh, these people are.
I like how I know. I like how it came to warmth. That's what.
Another one said, "My nipples never get hard," complained one New Yorker.
Why do they complain about this?
She said, "I want that high beam or headlight look." Like, I don't know.
They want attention. This should just say attention-seeking girls.
That's it. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Do we have anything else to say about this, or what else can we
I think
talk
we said
about?
it all, you know.
Yeah. What else can you say about that?
Oh, you know what I was thinking? Actually, this is where I wanted to go with this. I was thinking, what kind of ridiculous plastic surgery would you get if you just wanted to do something ridiculous and get plastic surgery?
We both know their answer.
Hair.
No, I was gonna say abs.
I think
Fucking six-pack.
Well, you could do that by yourself, you know.
Yeah, it's too much work, Nick.
I don't know
fair
if I talked about it on this podcast, but I actually, when I saw myself losing my hair, I went and got a consultation. Did I talk about that?
No.
Did you?
What,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
what is that about? For hair plugs?
For a hair transplant.
Hair transplant? What do you do? Cut off somebody else's top of their
disappointing
head
to
and
me.
just glue it to yours?
No.
So they get off his
no.
back.
This is back when I had hair, but I saw what was coming, and I was
At
like,
least you saw the writing on the wall.
I saw the writing on the wall. So I went to this one of these commercials. It was a place in Syosset, and I was like, I told my mom. My mom's like, you're an idiot. What are you doing?
Your hair's still fine.
Yeah. So I go there. They took like a Polaroid of like sections of my hair, and then then this guy was like,
Do you have these
Polaroid.
pictures?
When was this?
No,
1995. When did you start losing your hair? That they were still using
no, it was-
Polaroids.
because,
Were you 10?
Was this in a basement in Syosset?
What alley in Chinatown did you get this fucking consultation
This
done?
is part of like the Boswell. This is the Boswell guy.
yeah.
What's Boswell? It's a place that does it.
From,
Yeah.
They're legit.
The two bald guys. No.
Yeah, I know that place.
But what he did was he took my Polaroid and like showed it up against like somebody with my hairline. He's like, now this is the kind of hairline you're gonna have in 3 to 4 years.
How was it?
Dude,
Oh, it was great.
yeah. So
Everything worked.
I
like
didn't-
that worked out
I
well.
never did it because it was like thousands of dollars to get
Damn.
like, and what they took like little.
He's like, I couldn't even afford gas there.
They took like a little strip of hair in the back and they implanted in the front, and then you grow little sprouts
Right.
and it's supposed to catch on, but there's no saying it'll catch on. So yeah, I actually did that.
Oh wait.
Did you did one patch?
No. No.
I said my widow's peak.
Where is it? Where is it? Let it grow out.
No, I never did it because it was so expensive. But I went through the whole consultation. I was
How
like,
much was the consultation? They do it for free?
I think it was a free
That'd be
consultation.
a free consultation.
Yeah, and it was just such an embarrassing. It was like one of those things. I don't know why. I remember
Because I was 14.
I was 14. My mom
When
dropped
you
me
start
off.
going bald at 7 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember leaving the parking lot and just being so disappointed with myself. Like I can't believe I just.
I'm disappointed you tried to hold on to it for that long.
I know,
man. I just let it go when it was going. It was
But-
going. I
but I-
shaved it. And
I
that's
did
it.
That's a good
shit.
attitude to have about it.
I did
Yeah.
shave it eventually. Like I
Embrace it.
But the way I shaved it was I pretended. All right, so I had like a buzzer, and I was buzzing my
pretended
hair.
you made a mistake?
Yeah, that's got to be a common move. See?
No.
I went to the bathroom
Whoops.
and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And
I accidentally balded
I put-
myself.
Please tell me nobody bought this.
No, really.
no, I was just,
Again, yeah, got it.
and it was just to my mom. Like I just did it. I couldn't like admit it, so I
Did you
went.
practice on her first
She
to
knew,
see
though.
if she'd buy it?
She knew. She's like,
She knew.
I know what happens.
So-
We gotta get a better buzzer.
So I went. I like took
My
the
mom would have
zero.
just played along. Oh, I love it.
A lot of people in my life did. A lot of
Supportive
people were like,
moms.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I like the
But
bald
I
look on
didn't
you.
have a good hair. Like
you don't have a good head.
In general, you didn't?
no, I didn't. My hair,
Yeah,
it looked
nothing
like I
really
was
fits
wearing.
that face.
It looked like I was wearing a toupee.
Really?
But I was worried because I got this fat face. You know, like I didn't know how the bald thing was gonna look. But I think it's all right.
No, you pulled it off. I will say you're one of the few guys.
But I don't like the shape of my head. I feel like it looks like a milk dud.
I don't know. You got a perfectly bald shaped
Look in
head.
the thing right
dome.
there. It's your height that I'm concerned about. That's what doesn't fit the head.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I'd be more concerned not about growing hair, just growing.
Aren't I taller than you?
No, we're the same height. But I wear it well, you know.
Yeah.
He's got those couple inches of hair that makes a big
Oh
difference.
yeah, and that's cut down from like 4 inches.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I shaved it and like a week ago, and everything just grew back. But today, I just got it shaped up. I was like, well, fuck it.
I
you
am
know?
so jealous of your hair.
Yeah,
you
I
got
know.
great hair, great eyebrows too.
I know. If everything-
What else, B? What else do you like about it?
Yeah, how about my comedy? You fucking-
Just let's go around Nick's face and make a checklist of all the
let's
things
just
that
move on.
are in proportion.
Let's move on.
The symmetry of your eyes really
All
is. Well, so plastic surgery. Anybody else? Chick, what would you do for plastic surgery? You already said abs.
I'd like to like suck out a little fat from my neck and my cheeks.
Yeah, just the fat's liposuction.
I don't even want to.
or diet. Like these are all things you guys can fix. Like I don't.
Yeah, but I didn't necessarily want to lose weight to get my abs. I wouldn't mind having a 6-pack on top of my gut.
No, man, we want instant gratification,
Yeah.
like all these Kylie Jenner wannabe chicks. We just want to walk into a doctor's office, slap fucking 10 grand on the table, and say, "Make me better."
Yeah, it's not
make me better, and then give me some pain pills when I'm done.
It's not even like I want to turn Asian. You're
Then
like
you
I want to
turn
lose
gay.
a few pounds.
Right.
If I could do that somehow, you know.
Like I was thinking something ridiculous, like I get some claws like Wolverine installed, like some stupid
wouldn't
like
want-
that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like chink.
You wouldn't want clothes.
Some real nerdy, like fucking, or like get sunglasses on my face, like I'm always wearing sunglasses. They'll be like, "Nah, man, it's plastic
You
surgery."
could do that yourself too. I don't know.
Yeah, we can install them this afternoon.
You know what I'd like? I'd like better feet.
Better feet?
What's
Better
wrong with your
feet.
feet?
What's wrong with your feet?
You know, they just don't, I don't like the way they look. They don't look like, for some reason I'm like disassociated from my feet. I look at them, they're like, they're not my feet.
They're not.
You're in denial.
These are someone else's feet I'm wearing.
You know what's funny about feet is it's tough because the baseline for what makes a good foot is really, I don't know what it is. It's all feet just kind of look weird to me in general. What's a good looking foot? Do you know, like, who's got a good foot?
No,
Chick, let us see your foot. Pull your foot out.
Don't, please.
No, I think you shouldn't.
Look, I already don't.
Oh, damn. Dude, put your shoe
just
back.
hate
That's
the-
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. What happened to that thing?
He's got like a
got
white
his foot
sock
up.
with a.
Oh wait,
the
can you
gold
let me see
toe.
the whole thing? Can you turn your foot this way? Or do I have to move? Oh.
Oh my god, look at it. It's so wide.
Nah.
Why does it look like...
Take it out.
Nah, never mind. I feel better about my foot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. Building confidence for others.
Your feet look like like stakes you put under a car to stop it from rolling. What they call them? Fucking whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
we
no,
got
Yeah,
you.
you got it. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
we got you,
Well,
we
the
got
rest of the world will figure it out. Google something.
Yeah.
The rest of the world. My sister and fucking whoever listens.
Yeah, and our friends.
Yeah. Uncle Joe, go Google that. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so on to the next one. B, hit us with it.
Shocks.
Next.
All right, we got the next article. It's about a postal worker. He got arrested after 17,000 pieces of undelivered mail were found, and he was hiding it because he didn't want to do his job.
So many letters to Santa Claus are just sitting in this fucking.
I
A
mean,
lot of bills that are not going to be getting paid now.
yeah, I mean, really, it's just a
Shame.
case of laziness. This guy didn't want to deliver the mail.
I think
And-
it's a case of genius if he didn't get caught.
think so?
though. Yeah, he's just.
But he did get caught.
But he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not a genius.
Why would it be genius though? Just having mail.
If he got away with not getting, if he did he put it in a dumpster, like he just threw it the fuck out?
This is not uncommon for mailmen, by the way.
I feel like it's not. I feel like it's a common thing where just mail
I,
gets tossed.
I worked at a place, and we used to we would read their resume. You'd find out like a background check and all that stuff. And we had a one guy that was a mailman that got fired for tossing mail. The same thing. And he like came on the interview. He's like
One bad customer, and
he was
just
he
throw
was
their
like
mail away.
he was overwhelmed with letters, and he's like, I couldn't deliver them. He's like
Too much
they're just
pressure.
bags of letters, and he tossed them, and then he got caught.
I think the mail never stops. You ever watch that Seinfeld too? When
Yeah, that's what I was-
Newman has a mental
He has the
breakdown. The
breakdown,
mail
is
never
right.
stops.
What's funny is like, remember Jerry took over and he was doing good. He's like, now people expect their mail.
He's hitting everybody's house. And he's
Yeah.
whistling while
Yeah.
doing it.
He goes, now people want their mail. You set too high of a bar. That was mad funny.
Well, they found 10,000 pieces of undelivered mail in the guy's car, 1,000
it's a
pieces
tough hiding
in his
spot.
locker, and 6,000 additional pieces in his apartment. So I guess
This
he was
guy's
trying
an
to.
idiot.
He's just
hiding
doing a
in
bad
all
job.
the
of
wrong
getting-
places.
You got to destroy the evidence.
Yeah,
You don't
I mean,
keep it
he's-
in your car.
He's not smart.
or your locker or your apartment.
Does he have a fireplace and all that free time he was
Yeah.
making by not delivering people's mail? Didn't he think, let me go buy a fireplace so I can burn this shit?
You think he ever opened any of them? That's so.
That's a federal offense.
No, I'll
So-
just keep it in my fucking cat box. Like, what's that?
Yeah, well,
Might as well open the fucking thing.
At
It's
that
sitting in your-
point-
yeah, really.
He
Just-
could have got some money.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, money. A bunch of fucking $10 checks from grandma. Happy christening, you fucking.
I was thinking that really it is just a case of someone being too lazy to do their job, and I was wondering what you guys do when you cut corners at work. Your current jobs, past jobs. You got any stories about?
I used to
fucking
sleep
working.
at one of my jobs
Where'd you sleep?
in the office.
Like with your feet
What was-
up,
what was your
Feet up on the
thing?
desk, catty corner my chair. I didn't give a shit.
He's like, I was a teacher.
yeah. Every job you've had, you slept. You were telling us a few weeks ago.
If only you could get
Sleeping-
paid to sleep,
Yeah,
you'd have a
so
fucking,
well paid.
You'd be rich.
What'd you do? What was your job that you slept?
I managed a paint store.
Is it the same paint store that?
and it works out.
Yeah.
What?
Can we
Yeah.
say the name of it? No, he don't want to.
I don't care. I mean, I'm already fired from there.
Can we say? Can we say how you left the paint store?
What, in cuffs?
Yeah.
What?
I
Was it
don't
sleep
think
on a
he wants-
fucking?
Listen to Chris, the Bunch of Savages podcast for that story. I ain't
yeah, you
getting
told
into
that one already?
Yeah, I told that one.
I'm so curious now, though.
Yeah, there's
Give me a
another-
quick
there's
synopsis.
Episode 23.
There's another podcast, Bunch of Savages podcast, episode 23.
For sleeping? What, did you sleep with a minor? Like, what the fuck did you get arrested for?
The arrested charge was for falsifying business documents. It was all erroneous.
I don't know. That sounds like
It's an erroneous charge.
that sounds like a
erroneous
charge that's too
charge.
smart for you to pull off. Falsifying business documents. I thought it was going to be
I
like
never got in trouble. It was a lot of money that went to a lawyer, and nothing ever really came of it. And everything, I just paid my lawyer, and I had to give them a couple shekels, and we were good to go.
Wow. Glad to hear it.
well, like,
That was the shadiest shit.
There was,
I was just, that's about it.
I
Don't
was
worry about
left in the cop car in front of the store for
That's
about
the
an
best part of the
hour,
story.
sitting in the back of my store that I managed for 2 years.
All his customers are walking in, just like, what's
he
doing there?
Don't worry, guys. I won't see you again.
it. Are you still going to get my house Thursday? You still going to be there?
Oh, God.
That's mad funny.
Good for you, Chick.
Yeah.
Always cutting corners.
Hey,
What do you do now, Chick? I run a daycare center.
now I do
he's a celebrity podcast. Celebrity.
Yeah.
I do tech service and customer service for a lighting manufacturer.
Oh, at least you're friendly.
Yes, very friendly.
So I had this job when
Fake it till you make it.
when I was in college. I was actually part of my drinking problem. It was very surfaced a lot during college, and I didn't have a car because I got a DUI, and I wanted to get some money in, so I got a job real close to where I lived, but the only thing I could do was get a job at a Ben and Jerry's. So I was working. I would work at Ben and Jerry's, and I would drink a lot before I would go in the next day, and then I would basically go in there and eat the ice cream.
Wait,
right?
this is from the night before?
Yeah, sometimes I'd be up all night and I'd go
Yeah.
in. So I was in there, I was eating the ice cream, and this guy, the manager, comes up to me and he's like, listen, I got to talk to you. You got to stop eating all the ice cream. And I said, oh, so me, because I'm fucking drunk and I just want to get off the hook. I come up with a story. And I say, oh, listen, I'm really sorry. I'm eating all the ice cream, but like back at home, I got no food in the fridge. And I'm like, it's rough. We never.
Oh my God.
I know. I was a fucking dickhead douchebag. I'm like, I got nothing to eat at home. It's rough, whatever. He feels bad for me at work. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, you can have a little extra ice cream. All right, thanks.
I'd be like, pay me more. I'll have more food in my house, you scumbag. That's pretty much what you said. It's like, you guys don't pay me enough. I think that's what I'm eating there.
That's hilarious.
So me, like a dickhead, I'm like, cool, I got him off my back. I make myself a nice little shake. And I'm like, the dishes in the back still need to be done. The cookies aren't baked, but he's not hassling me anymore. I'm like, perfect. I'm set up at this job now. Fucking,
I think I'm poor.
yeah, exactly. So I go home, and he gives me a ride home. Of course, I don't have a car. And in the car, he feels real bad. He goes, here. He hands me $100. He goes, I'm going to give you some money as an advance because I feel bad. And now I'm like, oh, no. No, dude. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's okay. Whatever. He's like, no, trust me. Take this. He goes, go buy some cold cuts, some fruits, put it in your fridge for you and your mom. And I'm like, fuck, dude.
Oh, God.
Especially because as he handed me the money, I know exactly what's going to happen is I'm going out tonight and I'm drinking all night long. And that's what happened.
What, you didn't buy cold
for
cuts
you.
for the family and bread?
No, I didn't. I went out and I bought fucking
Cold cuts for the
beer.
family.
I was a
What
hot
is this, opening of Departed. You like comic books?
So I went out that night. I drank. I was out all effing night. I didn't get any sleep. I went to work the next day, and Ben & Jerry's was always dead empty. Like, this place was empty. There was nobody in there. I'd serve ice cream like 2 people a day. I show up. It's my first Saturday working there. They're having a freaking kids party, and I'm on no sleep. I'm hungover. I look dead. And I walk in, and there's kids everywhere. Hey, I got ice cream out. I'm like, fuck, man. So I walk in, and I'm having a panic attack now, too, because I haven't slept, and I'm tired, and I'm probably still drunk. I lean up next to the counter, and I just sit there, and I'm staring. I'm staring off into nowhere. And this is all off the $100 the guy gave me the night before. So he comes over and looks at me. I see him talking to the other manager. He whispers in his ear. And then he comes over to me, and I'm like, this is it. I'm getting fired. But instead, he says, listen, go back in the refrigerator in the back. We need you to organize the ice creams. So,
Oh, wow. They looked at you like, we got to hide this guy.
yeah, so they tucked me away in the back.
Hide you in a fridge.
Yeah.
And I
Don't organize the ice cream. It's not even a real job. Vanilla? It's not even a real gig. Go back and warm up my car, will you?
God.
So I pulled a chick. I went in the back fridge. I put my jacket on. I fell asleep on the floor in the back.
Wow.
organizing the ice creams.
There
Which
you go. It must have been a good sleep.
I used to work at Jones Beach.
I still feel so bad about that. If
what-
I ever
what'd
see
you
that
do
guy,
at
I'd give him
Jones
his
Beach?
$100.
Nothing. Ever. That was the best part. No, I'd work in Field 4 parking lot. In Field 4 parking lot, we would have to the way the marina is where you signed in, and then you'd come back out and you drive around the pencil, and then I'd park in Field 4, and then that's where I'd stay for the day. But I just wait till all the cars lined up. I'd sneak my car in the back, and I'd fucking sleep or just smoke and chill throughout the whole time. It was legitimately the best gig. And then I'd walk around for a little bit, and they'd see we'd hold the radio, and they'd say where they are. I'd be like, okay, I'm coming down through Field 4. So then I just start walking out. I'm like, Nick's always out there. I'm like, yeah, gotta clean this place up. You know what I'm saying, Suze?
I used to direct parking at a Jewish day camp once. I worked there one summer, and I was the
Direct
one-
parking.
Yeah, they would come in.
Wait, you're
and
just the guy that stands there waving your
I would
arms?
stand outside
This way,
and rip
this
butts,
way.
smoking cigarettes behind the fucking
Yeah.
trees, and then when a car would come, I'd just be like, go there.
What's amazing is how many people are going to a Jewish day camp that you need
that you need somebody
Exactly.
directing cars.
They had valet.
My job was
Yeah.
completely useless.
It sounds
I
like
didn't
sort
even
of a
need to be
niche
there.
market. I'm surprised that they needed it.
I got fired from that job too.
That's same. I see a trend in your
I
life.
cursed out my boss on that one.
Yeah, I can't wait till you get fired from this job.
I actually got my brother fired from that job as well.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I was supposed to call out for my brother. I was supposed to go to work and tell him that he couldn't make it in, and then I overslept, and we both missed a day, and neither one of us called, so we both got
Can I
fired.
say something? When I first got here, I didn't know this, but now I'm like, wow, he's a bad person.
Yeah, I'm not a great guy.
Yeah, he's not.
You nailed that one.
I walked in like, this guy seems sweet. I'm like, wow, this guy's really got issues.
And then I confirmed it for you as the show goes on.
Yeah.
I had a job where
No way.
I used to cut corners. Well, every job I've always cut corners, but I had this job for a little while. It was like one of those in between jobs. I don't want to. Every job I've had is in between, but
In between jobs.
yeah.
What are they in between?
No, not like the career at the Sherman Paint store he's got now.
Yeah, that's a great job. So I would drive a truck, and you know when people give clothes away to
Donations.
donations.
There's the word.
So I would have to, yeah, that's it. So I would have to pick up donations. That was the job. So I was like, all right.
Did you
That's
sift
easy.
through it? Like, oh, that's a nice hoodie.
Yeah, you get first dibs on on somebody's old boxer shorts.
And you stole the clothes before the homeless guy.
I have a pair of the Kanye West Yeezys.
No.
they're like fake, but I have two colors. I'm taking them.
I'm taking them.
They were unused. And they're totally fake. I'll bring them in next week.
Jesus, there's kids missing toes. And he's like, oh, these are pretty nice.
But anyway, the job, they give you 60 stops to go to, and it's sort of like the mail thing.
Oh,
But-
fuck all these people for donating, huh, B?
So what you would do is you would have
All day I had to fucking drop off clothes that people wouldn't have them.
there was so much clothes in the warehouse, it was piled high. So I would go out 60 stops, and I would want to be done by a certain time. And if they didn't have the bags of clothes out there on the stoop, I wouldn't go. I just drive through. But you're supposed to knock on the door.
And try and get
Yeah.
the donations. You
So we would
piece of shit.
get all these calls like I left them out, nobody picked them up, and I was I would lie my way through it.
How would you lie, though? What would be the thing?
I'd be like, no, I went there, I knocked on the door.
Nobody answered.
This place was so after, I'm not kidding, after 3 months of doing this, I got promoted to manager.
Nice.
They
I like these stories, man. You guys are slacking off, but you're looking like all stars while you do it.
Dude, you slack off to
You should
get
write a
ahead.
book. You should write a book.
There's a famous quote.
yeah,
show
how
me-
to screw up. That's
Screwing up. There's a famous quote that says, "Show me the lazy man, and that's the guy I'll hire because he finds an easier way to do it."
Yeah.
It's a true
That's
story.
a great quote.
Lying.
Yeah,
That's
lying.
the
Well,
easiest way to do
These
it.
aren't good examples, but yeah, I became the manager, and then is that an ice cream man?
Yeah,
it's an
these
actual
these microphones pick everything up. We can hear Mr. Softy in the background. Guys, just be quiet for a second.
Imagine if only he heard it, though. It's the ice cream man.
I just ran out.
I'm surprised Chick didn't get up and run outside right now.
Oh, I love the ice cream.
Yeah, so
man.
I worked at that place for a little while. They promoted me to manager, and then these other guys. There was this whole scheme that we had that if you got furniture, we would supposed to pick up the furniture, but it was like a big job. Like you're moving furniture, you know? And we come with this thing where we started charging people, but you don't, obviously. We're like, we can't do it, but if you throw us, you know, $30-$40, we'll do it. And somebody caught on, and they put a fake person out there. And they said, and they caught like these two guys, but I was the manager, so I was like, I didn't know that was going on.
Wow.
Yeah, I just ended up quitting that job one morning. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But yeah,
You know what's funny though? They believed you because they're like, this guy's not smart enough to do that kind of thing.
for some reason, these guys really trusted me. They believed me. They believed everything I said, and I lied my way to the top.
That's how you got to do it though.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, for real.
That's a common strategy of people at the top. You know, I got this corporate job, right, guys? You know,
Yeah.
Not really, but I know that people lie and throw people under a bus to get to the top.
Oh yeah.
It's
Got
just
it.
like, it sounds like these comedian cliques. It sounds like what they all do.
It's
too.
a lot of politics, but
You got to suck dick or fucking throw people under the bus or, yeah, politics. Play the game.
and I didn't realize how much that played it. Like I know that's in regular life, but I thought that's why everyone got into comedy, so we don't have to play those games. Just be
Right.
funny and hang out all day. And I'm learning. I was like, this is just how it is with everything, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, you
And
can't get
again,
away
I
with
fall
it.
victim to
Life.
it sometimes too. Sometimes I'm the
escape it.
asshole, you know.
The game is the
Sometimes you're an
game.
asshole.
I'm always an asshole.
The game is the game. Guys, I think we're up. We're coming up on an hour. We're just about done. Nick, why don't you throw out some whatever else you want. Remind everybody where to find you on the web. And,
When's this podcast coming out?
this one is
It's
coming
actually
out
gonna be 2
in
weeks.
Yeah, so we're going to release episode 7 today, and then next week on the 28th, we're going to release it
All
at
right.
the end of the month.
I'm gonna be at Governor's and McGuire's Governor's Comedy Club. That's gonna be June. No, actually April 30th. That's perfect.
All right, yeah, it's going to be a day after this comes out. What is
Yeah.
that, a Sunday?
I think so. I don't remember. I got to look back at my Instagram and stuff. But
Yeah.
just follow me on Instagram. I post all my stuff there.
April
at Nick
30th is a Monday.
Okay,
April
then no, it's
is a
not
Monday.
April 30th.
Oh, it's not?
It's got to be like it might be April 28th actually.
April
So the day
28th
has
is a
come out,
Saturday.
but
Well,
yeah.
the good thing about it is nobody's gonna go to this show, so it's all right.
You know, not many people are going to listen.
Yeah, I know,
to this
'cause you're
podcast
headlining.
either.
I wish.
Oh wait, you're headlining this show?
No, my next question is, how do I get on a show? How do I go about this?
We just told you, sucking dick or
Yeah,
throwing
exactly.
people
Why do
under
you
the
think I'm
bus.
All right.
All right, guys. Yeah, at Nick Tilleli, Tilleli.
Well, Nick, this has been a pleasure.
No, I had a great
We
time,
wanna
you guys.
Thank you for
Time
coming
flew.
on.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely.
Seriously,
Yeah,
both
it
of
was
you
a lot of
guys.
fun this week. Our first guest, we did it.
Yeah, that
Yeah, we did
was
it.
a milestone for us. All right,
Yeah,
everybody,
I'm glad it worked out.
thanks for listening.
All right.
Thank you for listening.
AdultBabyShow.com.
Let's go, Mets, Adult baby.
Is he talking about the Mets? At the end of every episode, he's got to say something about the Mets.
Let's go,
Yeah.
Mets.
AdultBabyShow.com. Go follow our Instagram. Please comment on this video, like and subscribe. It really helps us out and gets us out there. We appreciate everybody who made it this far. Check us out next week. Thank
Emails. You can email
Yeah.
us at
No.
adultbabyshow@gmail.com.
Don't email us.
Don't email us.
We don't care
anymore.
about emails anymore.
We don't want
Oh, we
emails
don't?
anymore.
I like
don't
the-
worry
I like
about
the
that.
email.
Nah, it's too much work.
We don't
Email us.
respond.
Don't listen to Taylor. I'll respond. adultbabyshow@gmail.com.
What would they email?
All right, thanks everyone. Bye.